Look at your gas bill. Look at the grocery prices. Look at how much harder it feels for ordinary people just to keep up. Listen to the official story about Iran.
Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror.
We are told America is so focused on this country mainly because of nuclear weapons, that Iran might bomb. They may bomb Israel. They may threaten the whole region. They may bomb Europe or even the US. That's the line we hear. But is it the full story, or is there a longer pattern underneath that has more to do with oil, power, and control? For more than a century, Iran sat between two expanding empires, Britain and Russia, which later we know Russia came to be known as the Soviet Union. So they treated Iran like a strategic prize. They divided zones of influence and extracted economic deals. Ordinary Iranians felt their country was being robbed and basically run from the outside. In 1901, a British businessman by the name of William Knox d'Arcy was able to secure a 6-year concession to explore and sell oil across most of Iran. In return, the Iranian government received a modest upfront payment of £20,000, which was in cash, plus another 20,000 in shares. And they also got like 16% of the annual net profits. So Britain got the oil, Iran got a small cut. So from the beginning, Iran's most valuable resource was treated as a foreign asset. That company later became British Petroleum. We all know BP. In the early 1920s, Iran was weak and chaotic because of years of foreign interference. A military officer named Reza Khan, who commanded the only real disciplined force in the country, the Cossack Brigade, marched on Tehran in February 1921, only with a few thousand men. The takeover was almost bloodless. He forced a change of government, took control of the army, and steadily consolidated power. The old Khazar Shah stayed on paper for a while, but was weak and spent much of his time in Europe. In 1925, the Iranian parliament formally ended the Khazar dynasty, and they declared Reza the new Shah. He became Reza Shah Pahlavi. He tried to modernize the country and push back against some foreign control. Then came World War II. Britain and Soviet Union, they needed oil, of course. They needed Iran's oil and a secure route to move supplies. They did not fully trust Reza Shah. In 1941, they invaded. They forced him to step down and sent him into exile. But they kept his young son, Mohammad Reza, on the throne because they saw him as more manageable. That son is the Shah most people mean when they talk about the Shah. A decade later, an elected Iranian leader, who was actually the prime minister, named Mohammad Mossadegh, he decided the oil should belong to the Iranian people. He nationalized it. Britain responded with a boycott that actually hurt Iranian economy. Then Britain and the United States worked together in secret. MI6 and CIA. Britain told the United States that if they did not act, the Soviet Union would gain influence and take over Iran's oil. Now, that was the argument that brought America into the operation. In 1953, they helped overthrow Mossadegh. They orchestrated a covert operation involving propaganda, bribes, and street agitation. And they were able to restore the Shah back to firm control. Two motives sat side by side: protecting access to the oil and Cold War fear of Soviet. Both were real. Oil was never a side issue, it was front and center. The Shah ruled for the next 25 years with strong American backing. He modernized parts of the country. It looked like West actually. But he ruled like a dictator. Political opposition was crushed. His secret police, known as Savak, surveilled people, watched people. They arrested them and used torture against anyone seen as a threat. There was effectively no real opposition. It was not allowed. At the same time, many Iranians, especially religious and traditional communities, were angry. They were angry about the rapid forced westernization of the country. Oil money made the elite richer, but large parts of the population felt left behind and culturally alienated. Resentment built for years at the repression, at the inequality, and at the sense that foreign powers still held too much sway over Iran's most valuable resource. A leading voice against the Shah was a senior Shia cleric named Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. In the 1960s, he openly criticized the Shah. He criticized Shah's Western-style reforms, the close ties to America, and the brutal suppression of dissent. In 1964, Shah's government arrested him and they sent him into exile, first to Turkey, then for many years to Iraq, and finally briefly to France. From exile, Khomeini continued to speak out. He continued to speak out through smuggled recordings and messages. He framed the struggle as both anti-imperialist and a return to Islamic values. His words reached millions and helped unite different opposition groups. Then came 1979. In 1979, that built-up anger finally exploded into revolution. The Shah fled into exile and never returned. Khomeini came back from France to a hero's welcome, and the Islamic Republic was born. American embassy staff were taken hostage for 444 days. Relations collapsed and stayed hostile. A year later, Iraq attacked Iran. During that long war, the United States gradually helped Iraq with money, technology, and intelligence. The goal was pretty straightforward. Do not let Iran win and gain more control. Don't let them gain more control over oil-rich Gulf. The same pattern appeared next door in Saudi Arabia, where American companies had locked in major oil rights decades earlier. So when people ask why America pays such close attention to this region, one clear answer is energy. A huge share of the world's oil moves through a narrow waterway. And you know what I'm talking about. This narrow waterway next to Iran, called the Strait of Hormuz. We hear about this every day now. Disrupt that route and prices rise everywhere. At the pump, at the store, in every country that depends on imported fuel. So now, after so many interventions, Iran decided it needed to make itself harder to attack or overthrow. It built military strength and pursued nuclear technology. From Iran's perspective, this looks like insurance. They look at a poor country, poor isolated country like North Korea, which acquired nuclear weapons and actually has not been invaded. This is the logic of nuclear deterrence. America and Israel are genuinely allies. They share intelligence, technology, and common enemies. That relationship has real political support. But it also sits inside the larger effort to keep influence over the energy-rich Middle East, and certainly prevent any single rival like Iran from dominating it. The nuclear issue and the alliance with Israel are serious. They are not separate from the older story of oil and power. Leaders speak about bombs and regional security. Look at the full timeline. Empires competing for influence, the 1901 deal that gave Iran only 16% of the profits, the 1921 military takeover that created a new dynasty, the forced change of rulers in 1941, the 1953 coup after oil was nationalized, the help given to Iraq, the parallel deals in Saudi Arabia. What emerges? A consistent pattern runs through it. Control of oil and the strategic power that comes with it has been a central driver for more than a century. Fear of rival powers has always been mixed in. So ordinary people feel the results in higher energy and food costs. The public story focuses on nuclear weapons and protecting allies. The longer record shows that money, resources, and control were never far behind. They were actually the key drivers. You don't need a history degree to see the pattern. Connect what actually happened to the prices you pay today and decide for yourself how complete the official story is. I am Gaurav Patria, and as always, keep questioning.